Hello beautiful souls and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am Carliejade. I'm a tantric hypnotherapist and I basically low-key really love learning and teaching and sharing with women the power of the feminine body through the tantric arts, the menstrual cycle and everything else in between. So today is such an important topic. Today we are diving into in my opinion, the top 5 things you could do to really create a healthy and thriving pussy. And today's video is a testament to like Cardi B and WAP.
Yeah, you fucking with some wet ass pussy.
Because essentially like a thriving wet ass pussy is just like the best. It's something we all should reach for and celebrate. So I'll be sharing with you my top 5 tips on how to create a beautiful, thriving pussy and environment so you can feel more pleasure, more turn on, more embodiment, and just all of the juicy things in between, because like who doesn't want a healthy, thriving, wet ass pussy? So I'll go into a little bit of my backstory just to give you guys a little bit of context of why this is really important to me. So this was back in 2016. I know every second week I was either having thrush or I was having a UTI, and it was just every week my vagina would be really dry, or then I would experience pain during sex, or then I would have this discolored discharge, and I was like, what the hell is going on with my body? And there was a multitude of reasons why. I was very disembodied. I wasn't listening to my natural cues. I didn't love myself. I was eating shit food. I was having shit sex, and I wasn't, not shit, but just like really wasn't listening to my body and what my body wanted or what she wanted. I really was disengaged with my own power as a feminine being. And I would say that these 5 things allowed me to really cultivate a really beautiful relationship with her, and they're things that you can start implementing today. You don't have to buy a lot of things, you can start implementing these things today. So tip number 1, what underwear material are you wearing? This is so important because depending on what underwear you're wearing on a regular basis, we wear it every day, and it meshes against our vulva every single day. And if you're wearing a lot of synthetic or a lot of nylon or spandex and they're emitting really toxic chemicals to your pussy, to your vulva, do you think that that's going to be really good for the environment of her? No. So my recommendation is finding a brand that creates non-toxic cotton, 100% cotton underwear. Cotton is really breathable, and when you're wearing nylon or spandex, it takes away all of the moisture and she can't breathe. You're basically suffocating your pussy, which is what we don't want. And this is where in my own journey, when I was wearing like those spandex or like those underwear where you don't see the lines or the creases, and it's like this silky, plasticky type of material, this was causing me to have thrush like all the time because there was no moisture or healthy environment that she could thrive in, because it was just like, yeah, I was just wearing all of this like chemical drained shit garbage that I was buying from like Kmart back in Australia. So really have a look at where you're buying your underwear, how they make the underwear, and how it feels on your body. My favorite brand, I'll list them below, but they're native and I'm pretty sure they're from Australia. I'm now in Canada, but I still buy them from there because my pussy just loves their brand. So that would be my number 1 thing. And also in addition to that, what are you washing your underwear in terms of the detergent? Again, if you're using a detergent that is laden with a lot of chemicals and a lot of icky things, and you're washing your underwear with it and then wearing it, again, that chemical is going to be rubbing against your vulva, which is not creating a healthy environment. And these synthetic materials as well, because they're basically capping or capturing in the heat, what happens is this creates a breeding ground for bacteria to grow, which causes the increase of like the yeast, which is causing the thrush. Again, I'm not a doctor, so don't quote me, but this was what was happening in my body. Yeah, undies, if you're not wearing cotton, go get yourself some cotton underwear. It doesn't have to be expensive, but just be really mindful of where you're putting your money, because she is a throne. You have this fucking temple, and we need to love her for that. So detergent and underwear, cotton and non-chemical detergent is number 1. Number 2 is to stop washing your yoni with chemicals, with soaps. The reason this is because the yoni is actually a self-cleaning machine. She cleans herself. She has a natural process of how she balances the pH. And if you're adding soaps in there, you're messing with the whole system she's got going on. And when I was in my early 20s, I was so self-conscious of my smell. I thought that it was gross, and like guys didn't like it. I wasn't sleeping with men at that age. I was sleeping with boys because I was 20, and a man really appreciates the scent of a woman. So when I was getting really embarrassed, I was buying all of these soaps, like Vagisil is one of them if you're in Australia. I don't know anywhere else because I've only bought them when I was back home. And I would make all these like things and make sure that my pussy smelled good for the male. And one, if your partner doesn't like the smell of your own pussy, I'm just gonna say, get a new partner, because it's your natural smell. We're not telling men to go out and fucking lace their penises with cologne. No, we're not. This is just like this fucked up thing that society has taught us. So your pussy, your vulva is not supposed to smell like a rose. It's meant to smell like a pussy. It's meant to smell like a vulva. Let's just share that now. So, I mean, if you do want to use soaps and they're non-fragrance, non-chemicals, a natural soap, just don't go inside the yoni, don't go inside the vagina. It's always recommended just go, if you want to go outside in the outer labias, then that's okay. But just be really careful with what you're using for soap wise, and if you're shaving as well, because it can affect her as well. If you are experiencing some different smells or different color discharge and it's just a little bit abnormal, like you're like, well, if I'm not using soaps, it's going to smell a bit weird. If that's the case, then I highly recommend that you go see a naturopathic. Number 3 is to eat a healthy vulva diet. And this goes without saying, but if you're eating a lot of processed foods and sugars and carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, it's gonna affect every part of your body, including your pussy. It's just a given, we know that. But candida, which is thrush, is basically created when we have too much yeast in the system. But it's in croissants, it's in muffins, it's in white bread, it's in pasta, it's in wheat, it's in kombucha, it's in alcohol. When we have too much yeast in the system, this will create an unhealthy environment for our yonis, for our vulvas, for our vaginas. So have a think about it. It's like if your gut isn't feeling really right, if you're treating your body not like the temple that it is, it's going to have an effect on your yoni. So start thinking about how you can incorporate maybe some fats in your diet, and like healthy fats and proteins, and a really good one is healthy probiotic food to give you more of that good bacteria. I love to just add like a fermented, like sauerkraut or some fermented food and take probiotics, because that helps with like, I guess the balance of it all. And my naturopath gives me my probiotics. I highly recommend not to just buy vitamins from Shoppers Drug Mart. I highly recommend going to a doctor first, or going to a naturopath, just so they can check your blood and see what you actually need. Because if we're just going off influences and just be like, oh, they told me to take a B12, so I'll take a B12, your body might not need that, and it might just be a waste of your money. So if you're experiencing any like gut issues and you're eating too much yeast, this can create a breeding ground for candida. So just be conscious of the foods that you're eating, and do you feel good afterwards or do you feel not? Alrighty, number 4 is these little guys. I think I've got so many yoni eggs, I don't know where half of them are, but these are yoni eggs. So why these are really important for a healthy and thriving pussy is because they're connected to our pelvic floor. And having a strong pelvic floor is really vital for anything. If you want to have children one day, if you don't want to pee every 2 seconds, if you want to increase your orgasmic potential and your sensitivity within your vagina, within your yoni as well, these are going to be a lifesaver. So this is like a black obsidian and a rose quartz. I think I've got jade and got a whole bunch of yoni eggs, but these are really important. And I remember my mum telling me the story of when my grandma gave birth to her. My grandma's, who's passed away now, my nan has passed, but when she gave birth, all of like her insides fell out after she gave birth because she had a really loose pelvic floor. It wasn't tight, and it was like you basically need a pelvic floor to hold up all of your insides as well. So this is why it's really important if you plan to have children, if you have had children. Kegel is also like another, I guess, version of this. I just love using crystal yoni eggs for this reason. They were actually also used by the concubines in ancient China as well. They are ancient practices, Taoist practice, and I do it once a day intentionally and squeezing my pelvic floor muscles in my practices that I have for myself and my clients. I've actually linked a free one below if you wanted to try a yoni egg practice, and also given you a discount code if you wanted to buy either a glass or a crystal yoni egg as well. So if these are really important for us, like a healthy environment, because strong pelvic floor is a healthy pelvic floor, and it increases everything: sensitivity, orgasmic potential, stronger orgasms, post-birth healing as well, because the crystals do have their own healing property. Another way to have a healthy pelvic floor is by prioritizing Pilates or core exercises. Again, if our core is really weak, we're not actually holding our pelvic floor in a really healthy way. So I noticed such a difference when I started Reformer Pilates on a regular basis. I go about 4 or 5 times a week, and because I'm working every single time at Pilates on my core, I just noticed that like I was able to feel more pleasure during sex, different sensations that I couldn't feel when I wasn't prioritizing my core. So your core health, your pelvic floor is really important for your overall health as being a vulva owner. And tip number 5 is all about your lubrication that you're using, whether it's for self-pleasure or yoni egg use, or if you're having sex with someone else, whatever it is. As I'm editing this, I can't stop staring and laughing at my hair. I thought it was so funny, I had to share. Anyway, let's continue. What lubrication are you using? And you should be using some if you are using lubrication, but why this is really important is because it's going internally inside of you. If you're using a wand, if you're using a yoni egg, if you're using a dildo, if you're having another person inside of you, whether it's their fingers or not, there is lubrication that generally we use. And again, if you're using something that you bought from the sex shop that smells like tiramisu, please throw it out because it is so bad for your body. I generally use sweet almond oil. I also use coconut oil as well. I generally find the coconut oil is a little bit like stickier, and it's annoying that I have to heat it up all the time unless you're in Australia where it's always hot. I'm in Canada, so I have to microwave my coconut oil, which can be a little bit annoying, but that's also another beautiful option. And I've also got some CBD lubes as well, like with shea butter. So as long as it's like a natural, if you could eat it and you won't die, like that is amazing. I would just prioritize something natural, something organic, something ethically sourced if you're putting it on your body. And this also goes for sex toys as well. Just think, like your yoni is like this precious, beautiful thing, and if you're shoving all of these like man-made toxins into her, is she going to love it? No, she's not. She's going to be like, get out of me. Oh my God. And this is where we experience pain during sex, dryness, numbness, because our body is literally closing up, and there's many different reasons. But yeah, just really be really conscious of what you're putting inside of yourself. Where did it come from? What was it made with? And what you're putting inside of your body. And if you follow these 5 simple things, I promise you, you will have a
Wet ass pussy.
You will have a wet ass pussy, and we want a wet ass pussy. Wet pussies are good. They're really good. I promise you. I promise you. So if you enjoy this video, I will be making more, and subscribe and like if you love today's video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. I hope you have a beautiful day, and let me know how you implement these little changes in your life to have more of a healthier relationship with your vulva. Have a beautiful day. I'll talk to you soon.